reflection.
Yeah.
Not realizing I was making excuses, claiming I've been struck by Cupid's arrow, but in reality I've been struck by the archery of your words. It was absurd. How I cannot see. Clearly I took a candlestick burning to be free, and a clock stood at my side, ticking, ticking, ticking away as time went by. But you weren't my master.
Come on,
no.
come on.
You were my love. And I thought you were the perfection any girl would kill to be a part of, but you were a beast in disguise, and I harbored your lies, believing there'd be a beautiful prince inside, but there was no beauty, and the beast you became only captured my heart to make me a prisoner.
Come on.
You are not the nameless handsome prince who sealed the love with a kiss, but you're the forbidden fruit, the apple filled with poison, the door that joy is not in. You are not the frog I was meant to kiss. All you left me with was slime, if only I had a fairy godmother who could have given me a sign, one to say, save the dress. He's not the best, I'll help you out another time. But even when the slipper didn't fit, I tried to squeeze a love into it until eventually the thought of me letting down my hair and my prince, you would be there, shattered dramatically, because in reality there was always a possibility that you could hurt me. But you're my Delilah, the liar who cut off my strength. See, you were supposed to introduce me to a whole new world, but the carpet was flung from underneath us and we came crashing down into reality where you were the thief who stole my fairy tale, the one we were supposed to have. But there was no fairy tale ending. And if only these fairy tale stories would have prepared me for this. For each and every one missed the part where they show us how to pick up the pieces to a broken heart, the part where they give us a clue on what to do when our happily ever after comes to the end. What then? Thank you.
Yeah! Come on, Tiffany! Woo!
Hi, my name is Daniel Ortiz, and I don't have a title for this one.
Sorry, man.
I'm most vulnerable when I'm cowering in the shadow of my shower curtain, leaning naked against the wall, praying it won't fall, with water running down my body, and a mind running every direction except towards a heart full of question marks. I know that someone has to understand what it means to hate standing on feet that have grown weary through tiresome journeys. Crossroads of dangerous paths and broken promises, all detours that have prolonged my life's monologue, which is probably why I've gone way past my time limit. Only to have been stopped by stop signs painted red by the blood of our forefathers or the depths of their ancestors whose accounts have been engraved in the caves on the mountain that I thought we had unanimously decided to demolish a long, long time ago. To once and for all bury the burdens of history that has been written and played more times than the sun has even set. So once and for all, let's bury the casket. For the cemetery opens at dawn when there is still dew on the lawn, because something must sparkle in the daylight, even when the stars are down. For in the night, we worry our hearts will exploit us for the temples of sin that we have found comfort. Rituals of self-hatred materialize in the wrinkles on our foreheads that we refuse to accept actually exist. That there is a cold war between the thoughts of our hearts and the cries of our reflections, confessions, embroidered in the still frame of parental frame, serving lifelong sense of little fluctuation. Because teachers refuse to review. Man has evolved not to use sticks and stones, but tie stones to the top of sticks and use them to finish the last nails of the coffins of their victims. Lessons learned through scars earned on a battlefield from which we had no defense. Our armor was thin as notebook paper, crumpled by young artists too ashamed of his own work because he found beauty in his own shadow, because sometimes his shadow was the only thing that had his back. He thought his dog loved him more than God, because even when he told his dog he was gay, his dog went up and licked his face and brought him a bone to play fetch, relocating the skeleton in the closet to the rocket ship in the backyard. Bone by bone, his arm grew tired and throwing, but stronger, and knowing that he had a place on this earth because he is loved. He is not a skeleton in a rocket ship, but a dictionary with picture explanations. His gardenia reminds him that he can never die if he was never born, so he leaves petals inside the handprints of his handstands as he follows through the forest he has planted. You think this poem is not about you, it is. You think I don't see you, but I do. Your smile, acne, and personality are all punchlines that you need to be laughing about. And if you're not laughing at them, you need to get people in the line to punch you where your skin is already purple and blue to show them your skin can turn every color of the rainbow, and that your rainbow cannot be tainted by the hatred of the unjust. That your rainbow cannot be tainted as long as you know that you are loved.
My name is Jennifer Lair, and this poem is called Immortals. In my ear, he whispers as my cheeks nearly blister from blushing words that mortals constantly pretend to comprehend, even though these words are crafted in colors light itself cannot bend and have a tendency to transcend human understanding. However, I am no mere earthling. The physics that once held me here like you, with such precision, have been overthrown by the benediction of religion. My lonely soul is no longer obtainable by the hands of angels or by the fire scorching their fallen friends. For you see, my soul no longer resides within my body, and yet my body lives on. This alone is proof of my immortality. You, like many, wonder how I can be so pompishly foolish and dissolute as to hold myself to the same stature as God, but it was He who granted this gift to me. You assume that I am just an insane sinner with a pinch of possession, but I assure you this is no transgression, only truth. With timing near impeccable and placement seemingly insensible, for this degree of consistent luck to be just mere coincidence is simply impossible in this instance. Perhaps it was more than God himself anticipated when fate intertwined our paths. We were both mortals then, on the day that we first truly spoke, but somehow when the carpenter was welding our hearts together, he took not just a bit from our bodies, but took the entirety of both of our souls, thus causing us to breathe as everlasting beings, feeling feelings that forever feed the flame that the carpenter first used to weld our hearts together. Our bodies will both face death alone, but the fusion of our souls forms something that not even death can part. Someday, when this ever-spreading universe reaches its limit and then implodes into itself, thus eradicating the very existence of existence, even then, when forever finds its end, the union of our souls will still remain. And although these thoughts are right and true, with my lips pressed against his ear, all I'm able to reply is, I love you too.
Hi, my name is Sarah Portugal, and I'm going to be performing a poem called Ha Ha. Every day I wake up with a question, an unconfirmed pension, an alternate dimension undiscovered and waiting for eyes to meet, lies to cease, politics will die, and beat the sighs coming from our own minds. Running on used time. I tried for 16 years of my life to keep pent up, numb condition, religion, no decisions, mind control. But there came a time when I needed to let go of the self-hating cries, late-night Bible crusades, and die, because once we see that death is inevitable, it became a heck of a lot more easier and more practical to live carpe diem on this earth, right now, right here. Technically, we were all strapped to time bombs programmed by a god that thought it was a good idea to give us free will, though that's funny, isn't it? Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. Now I've got this burden that I carry around, probably from TV's pragmatic approach. Well, what's realistic isn't always real, and I base the base god fantasy off the reality of our lack of empathy for each other. Now back to the burden. Art isn't a word, art is an experience. So when I hear telltale deliriums talking tenaciously to people like me about art can be contained by someone or something, I start to think that what I must create must always make sense but never make mistakes. But I think the beauty in art is the beauty in fate. It's the undetermined violent attacks of imperfections. It's a not knowing which direction to take, and well, that's kind of funny. Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. So whenever I doubt my own ability to make music, and start to think, whoa, maybe poems can't sing, I ask you to take a step back and think, who told you that thing? Congruency is great for things like numbers and questions. Formulas and dimensions are not something I hope to pursue. People always ask me, who are you? And I'm like, I don't know, man, I'm trying to figure that out too. But instead I'll just spit you a rhyme or two because that's what I do. If you don't like it, then at least I've changed your mood. Ha ha, ha ha, ha ha, ha ha, ha ha. Thank you.
So we have one more, right? Now, all of these students had to compete to get on this team. And not just at the Space City Slam that happens once a year, and this year it happened May 11th, so about 2 weeks ago. But they competed at prelims where other students from around the city of Houston were all trying to be in the top 3. And then those top 3 became the top 18 in the city, and now we're down to